I want to take a moment to walk you through on our impact of exploration setup. Now, I'm going to be splitting my screen here. I've got on the right side, I have some green sections giving me a clue as to what's going to happen. And on the left side is going to be what I'm going to walk us through. This is on page 5 of our exploration packet. This is the impact of exploration. This is only done after you have completed all of your research above. It will not be easy if you have not worked through their explorations or if you're not able to talk about what they found. This is a critical box for today's work. As you're looking through on the impact of exploration, our directions say to recopy this onto loose leaf paper. A reason for that is it gives you more space and you're not stuck trying to cram something into these lines. Fill in the blanks with information you've learned from your research on your Explorer. Use the resources from the library, our notes, and our Explorer books to help you. And now we see that there's just a bunch of blanks. And we're going to use some of our own previous research to fill in these blanks. One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to start doing the very, very simple part of putting in our explorer's name. So, how I know that is I'm looking over at this impact guided statement. And this guided statement is on Google Classroom, and it helps us to know what we put into each of these places. So I start off by putting in their name. If you're lost, you can also look at my example. I've underlined on the example, these underlined sections are the blanks from up top. So if I was to go to the second underlined section on my example, it's a year. Up here, I know that this should also be a year. It should be numerals. As you go through your impact statement, you start off the explorer's name. I know that because I'm using my guided impact statement to do so. Was an explorer who made a great impact on the world in the years. And so here I'm going to put down when he traveled. Now, oftentimes you're going to find that that's going to end up being a date range because your person might have traveled for, well, this guy traveled for 110 years. That's definitely not right. Your person might have traveled for 6 or 7 years, 10 years, however long they went. It's not just a 1 year necessarily answer. And then you're going to say, what did he do to make him famous? Now, we know what they did to make him famous because you've already filled that in on the impact part of your research. This is why it's pretty important that we use all of our research to complete this. You'll be answering what he did to make him famous. Another result of, and once again, we just put the person's name, was that he discovered blank. So on this blank here, on this one, I look over and I see what did he discover. And I'm going to look back up to check out right here and see what did he discover. That's this blank. That box goes into our impact statement right there. Another thing that they found, something else that they did on their journey. This could be part of the fast facts. This could be an interesting story from their journey, or it could be something else that he went to. A lot of our explorers went to more than one location. If, then you put the name of your explorer again, had not explored, what would be different about the world currently? Some things that your explorers may have found were medical. Some of your explorers found things that helped others medically, and something that might have been different is a lack of that medicine or a lack of that discovery. I'm going to go back to my example of Christopher Columbus. Now, had Christopher Columbus not explored, somebody still would have, right? We know that the Vikings had traveled to Anse Meadow up in northern Canada, and we also know that you and I have a penchant just to go somewhere new. And so people are going to try to explore. You can't necessarily say just because Francisco Pizarro never went down to South America, no one's ever going to know where South America is. That's not necessarily true, right? It might have taken a moment somebody else might have gone, but we want to look for something a little bit more specific than that. What'd you learn? You learned about blank from studying blank, so that's the name. Is that what? What did you figure out? What was something that you learned? That could be something factual, that could be a skill, that could be part of your interesting facts and stories. If you're lost, check the sample paragraph below. Make sure that when you're working through this side, you have the guided impact statement as well. That will really, really help. Sweet.